life, oh, Yahweh, over my life, oh, over my life, oh, Yahweh, over my life, oh, over my life, oh, Yahweh, over your church, oh, over your church, oh, Yahweh, over your church, oh, over your church, oh, Yahweh, over the land, oh, over the land, oh, Yahweh, over the land, oh, over the land, oh, Yahweh, over the nation, over the nation, Yahweh, over the nation, over the nation, Yahweh. And only you be seen, and only you be seen, oh. Let only you be seen, let only you be seen, oh. Yahweh, you will be praised, 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 Yahweh, Yahweh, you will be praised, 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 oh Yahweh, Yahweh, you will be praised. We say Yahweh, you will be praised, Yahweh, we say Yahweh, you will be praised, Yahweh, you will be praised. We say Yahweh, you will be praised, Yahweh, you will be praised, Yahweh, Yahweh, you will be praised over your church, 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 over my life, over my life, Yahweh, over my life, over my life, Yahweh, over the land, over the land, Yahweh, over the land, over the land, Yahweh. Let only you be seen, 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 only you be seen. We say Yahweh, you will be praised. Jesus, take your place. 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 We say, Jesus, take your place. We cry, Jesus, take your place. And all the names, and all the other names fade away. And all the names, and all the other names fade away. And all the princes, and all the princes fade away. And all the powers, and all the powers fade away. And all the titles, and all the titles fade away. And all the chieftains, and all the chieftains fade away. And all the governments, and all the governors fade away. And all the presidents, and all the presidents fade away. Till there's only you, that all the other names fade away. Jesus, take your place. Jesus, take your place. Jesus, Jesus, take your place. Jesus, Jesus, take your place. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, take your place. Jesus, take your place. God will do this. Take your place. Have your way. Unrestricted. Whatever way, whatever form, unconventional that you want to move in this place, have unrestrained access. May no man limit you. May no ideologies reduce you. No prejudice. No pride. No obstruction. Nothing obscure you today. Have expressed your innocence. You are the reason why we gather. You are the reason. You are the reason why we gather. Lord, everything you have for us today, we want it. No matter the way it comes, whether in raw version or diluted version, anyhow, anything that you have for us, we want it. May you not be limited today. Our hearts are prepared for you. Our hearts are fully prepared for you. Have unrestrained access in this place. Thank you for all that you have done already. Thank you, O Lord, for the informations, for the reawakening, for the strengthenings, for the healings. Thank you for the energizement, activations, ignitions. We thank you for every single thing that you have done. And for the great and mighty things you are yet to do, we thank you. Have your way, O Lord. Have your way. Have your way. hearts this morning. Expectation will help you get very fast what God has for you. I will advise you that you will not be distracted in any way. Do not entertain any form of distraction so that you will get exactly what God has for you. I thank God for all the men of God that He has sent to this place, such a time as this. I know that there is a hope for this nation. I believe it very strongly. Some may not believe, but I believe it. Because of the things that I am seeing and hearing going on, the things that the body of Christ has not been able to do, God is doing them now. And I think it's something that we should really appreciate God for. It means that this nation is not forgotten. No matter how terrible our state has been, God is still raising an arm. It's true, and you need to believe it. With Jesus' joy in my heart, I'm going to welcome one of God's choicest servants, and a voice that God has used to bless a lot of young people in this nation and beyond. Our brother Lawrence Oyo. He has something from the Lord. So we appreciate that.
Just take your place. Jesus, take your place. Let all the other names, fade away. Let all the other names, fade away. There's only you. Let all the other names fade away. Jesus, take your place. Jesus, take your place. One more time, let all the other names. Let all the other names fade away. Let all the other names. Let all the other names fade away. Till there's only you. Let all the other names fade away. Jesus, take your place. Jesus, take your place. One last time. Let all the other names. Let all the other names fade away. Let all the other names. Let all the other names fade away. Holy Ghost. Till there's only you. Let all the other names fade away. Jesus, take your place. Jesus, take your place. Hallelujah. Amen. Father, we love you. We really love you. We love you. Jesus, we love you. This afternoon, like you have always done, you are always willing to do. Let us make progress in consciousness of you. Let us love you more than we loved you yesterday. Let it become even more real than it has ever been in our lives. Thank you because you are doing this already. I thank you so much for my brothers. Thank you for our mother. Thank you for my sisters. Thank you for all your children here. I thank you for this territory. I thank you because it is open to these statements, these words, these lights. I thank you for the spirits of all your children scattered all around this territory that are receiving this very same light right now. So Lord Jesus, I ask, let a quick work take place even as these utterances are being released. And let people all over the territory, under the sound of my voice right now, begin to come under the influences of these utterances in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And we decree and declare, and we will no longer be few, who love you, who desire you, who will give our very lives for the furtherance of your kingdom, especially in the East. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Tell somebody, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Tell another person, I love you. I love you. All right. This time around, go ahead. Passing your seconds. Two more people. Share some love. Share some love.
I love you.
How much? Such a privilege. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love you, Jesus. Another song is ringing in my heart. Simply put, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Sorry. Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord. Simply put,
I love you, Lord.
simply put,
I love you, Lord.
thank you for privilege.
Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord.
Elijah tried, he couldn't call. Moses tried, he couldn't call. I bless you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord. Daniel tried,
He couldn't call.
Elijah tried.
He couldn't call.
Thank you for privilege.
Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord.
Simply put,
I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord.
thank you for privilege.
Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord.
Simply put,
I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord.
thank you for privilege.
Thank you for privilege.
You Elijah tried it. He couldn't call. Moses attempted.
He couldn't call.
I bless
Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord.
Abraham tried.
He couldn't call.
Isaac attempted.
He couldn't call. Thank you for privilege to call you my daddy, Lord.
Simply put,
I love you, Lord.
in other words,
I love you, Lord.
shall we thank you for privilege?
Thank you for privilege
To store away some of the bodies that have come up in the last few hours of conversation upstairs with my brothers, and just so that I can get across to everybody where they need to be reached. And so I've been able to pen down some things which I'm certain the Holy Ghost wants to address in the lives of His people. I want you to please pay attention. Thank you, Father. If there's anything I passionately run with as a vision, as a desire, as a panting in my heart, it is that people should not waste time. It's almost a religious mantra that I can't do without saying from meeting to meeting, from sermon to sermon, is that people should not what? Waste time. This burden is what even led to the song some of you have probably heard. And I may not be laboring like a fool. And I need you to follow me, please. Be laboring like a fool. The labor of fools. It wearies them. It wearies them, it wearies them. Show me things for years to come. Hallelujah. Amen. So usually when it comes to this subject, I move to tears easily. I don't like when somebody is finally hungry, because hunger is a big deal. It's a prized possession in our generation, yes or no? Yes, it might look like it's popular, but if you travel small, you know it's not. Especially in the East, yes or no? Yes, alright. So, there's nothing as sad to me as seeing somebody who now finally has zeal and is still going to waste a lot of time, because you can know. And in fact, as you look at a person and discern, you can know how much time the person is going to waste. Because the delicacy of teaching is that the teacher can increase your journey or reduce your journey. a teacher has capacity to increase how much time you will waste before you arrive at certain experiences and reduce how much time you will waste. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So it's not just contamination with fear. It is the capacity, especially when they are charged, to increase your journey or reduce your journey because of careless statements that are usually made many times innocently and in ignorance. So being someone who is passionate about not wasting time, especially in my own life, I don't believe that we should be old before we have sense. And so I'm always very, very careful as I'm listening. Not judging, but knowing that when I stand before Jesus, the excuse of it was this person who told me this will not count. Are you following? I have wasted time in my life, and I don't plan to waste any for that time. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
One of the things that has helped us to not waste time is to discern where people are at. I think I'll start there. Because I'm not assuming, I know anybody who is in this atmosphere is going to lead. Whether you know it or not, know it now. That Jesus always brings people first and foremost to be with him, and then so that they can what? If you are in this atmosphere, God is going to make you responsible, whether this year or next year at some point of time in your life, because he is wired like a businessman. He wants profit for his investments. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And profit is more souls, right?
Yes, sir.
So one day you might think that he didn't have plan to make you do something. You will wake up with a dream, wake up with a vision, like Murphy was saying, a desire to begin movies and all that. It's going to happen. Something is going to happen. And then you have to make profit from what you have been receiving. So I said all that to say, I'm going to speak assuming that whether or not currently or in the future, you are going to lead a group of people, whether in fellowship, whether in church, and so on and so forth, in the systems that currently exist. So please pay attention. If you're not going to waste time as a builder, if you're going to be wise, like Paul said, wise master builder, you must be very careful to pay attention to what is necessary at the moment for those God will be sending you to. That helped me to stop wasting time. I only discovered this 1 or 2 years ago. So before then, you can imagine how much time we have wasted. I discovered that discerning where people are at the moment will help you to establish them where they are and the next phase that comes after where they are. Sometimes I would have finished 45 minutes, 2 hours, and then realized that I wasn't talking to the people. I wasn't helping the people. I wasn't helping the people. So even when, as it were, you are not picking accurately from God, because of certain journeys with God, you can now begin to predict. One of the beautiful things about working with God is that you adopt his mind. So where his instant voice for some reason is not clear, you can predict. Are you following? That's the reason for the mind. You can predict the why, because you were not just receiving instructions, you were trying to understand why he's giving those instructions. So that you can copy and paste that mind at other times. You can just assume that he will need us to do this, even though you didn't hear any expression. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Are we on the same page? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So for every one of us, I want us to begin to pay attention to the building of those that we come across and that we encounter. Where they are at in their walk with Jesus, what the emphasis is, what needs to be emphasized, what needs to be balanced out, what needs to be, It will help us be very effective so that when we stand before Jesus and we see what we did on the earth, we will not shed tears. I used to raise teenagers, I still do. And in fact, that's what actually led to this song. I was brooding over these guys, thinking about how much investments have been made and where they were still at. And I began to cry. Because I wish I could make this thing happen fast for them. I was wondering why they were still not able to handle the things I was able to handle. After all I put them through, after all I've shared with them, after all I had poured, from my heart into them. And so the value of process began to dawn on me. So I'm going to take you on a journey briefly, like a story, but I want you to please pay attention and make out the process. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
All right? Okay, so our hunger began. SS1, shared it so many times. Met a friend who was hungry for God. His passion for God made us to be challenged, and we began to seek God. He was working in the miraculous, and I was excited because he was young and yet working in that, because I didn't think young people at that time could work in the reality of God's, of the scriptures that we read. I saw it in my father, but I just felt it was not for us because I didn't see anybody that was young that would challenge me. He was in SS1, so I was shocked he was hearing God and that he was longing for God, seeking God, and working in the miraculous. A really, really strange miraculous, by the way. And so I was moved. I wanted that kind of reality as well in my life. I was jealous, of course. I'm going to begin by saying that God, throughout your journey, will be using even your weaknesses to establish His strength in your life. I will show you throughout my journey how He kept on using my weaknesses. God loves us. And so the first weakness I had was, you see here, it's even in the songs, I don't like seeing someone that is my age mate or younger than me that is doing more than me. I want to do more than everybody. So Jesus used that. He said, are you seeing this guy? He's hungry. See your life. And so I was challenged. This guy is 13. And the realities that we see in men of God and mighty people are in his life. Apparently, I've been filled with the Holy Ghost from age 4. And I started hearing God's voice from that age because his mother would lock him up and tell him that they are going out and coming back. Samuel, if you have not heard God's voice, there's no food for you. So he hears God's voice before he eats. After experiencing that in your childhood, I'm sure you'll be hearing God accurately. Because this time around, life was literally, or man was literally living not by bread alone, but by every word. If he does not hear the word, he's dying. Are you getting what I'm saying? So he was a challenge to me because his life was portraying a real, tangible. So our hunger began. But it was still a hunger that was fired by, that jealousy, that desire to also make sense. I remember I cried that night, the night he moved to the miraculous in VG, in our school. And, I went upstairs and I started crying and telling Jesus, so you don't like me, have you? And Jesus gave me a scripture, Proverbs 8:17, I love them that love me, and those that seek me find me. I love them that love me does not love those who don't love him. But I love them that love me is talking about an experiential love. So if you're experiencing God's love, it's because you are responding. Are you getting what I'm saying? That experience people have that makes you think they're special because they are responding to the love He has for everybody. Are you following? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
So he was responding. And his response, I want to make it as simple as possible. His response was causing effects. Listen carefully. If you will just pay attention to your natural life and copy and paste, you will have plenty problems as a Christian. Nobody here expects an effect without a cause. I tell you now, drink, okay, let me use drink hot water as an example. Drink hot water, drink plenty water. It's good for the body. How many of us know water is good for the body? It's not a strange knowledge, it's not a mystery. How many of us know exercise is good for the body? Beautiful. How many of us know resting is good for the body? Are you saying that these are not strange informations? Now, how many of us would like the results? Let me ask ladies now. How many of you would like a clean skin? You know, I don't know if the guys like it. How many of you like clean skin, spotless, without, common out? Are you getting what I'm saying? Some of you are smiling sheepishly. I thought you didn't like those kind of things. How many of you would like to look healthy and look like you are not? Are you getting what I'm saying? How many of you would like that? How many of you know that water plays out in that? How many of you drink a lot of water? How many of you would like to be fit all the time and not getting tired easily? How many of you would like to go through the stress of 12 hours and just affect your morning the next day because your body is? How many of you know exercise goes a long way to determine how much you can do with your body and how long you are going to live? How many of you want to live very long? How many of you exercise today? Are you getting what I'm saying? You know many things that you are not doing. You know many things you are expecting the result for which you are not putting a cause. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so I'm beginning by saying, if you truly want Jesus, Jesus is not running away. If you truly want Jesus, you can find him. And I want to show you very simply. Proverbs 8:17 says, I love them that love me, and those who seek me will find me. And so I asked him one question that day. If I start seeking you, because I knew what seeking looks like, I'm going to have to start denying myself. I'm going to have to start praying and fasting and reading the word of God and obeying. Are you following now? I'm going to have to start giving myself to what I naturally as a man do not like. Because he was showing me my friend's life and showing me my life. Showed me his 4 hours stonking every morning that I was not doing. Showed me his 2 days fasting every week that I was not doing. In fact, I eat his food when he is fasting. Showed me his life and showed me my life. And showed me very simply why his results has to be different from what? My results. I gave my life to Christ 3 times under him because of how much contrast he had. When he preaches, the whole school gives their life to Christ, including hostel master and hostel mistress sometimes. The power on his words, I could not understand the weight. And so I couldn't understand how a young person was doing as if he was a father, like he was. Are you getting what I'm saying? We were like his children. The conviction with which he spoke about his future made us want to be a part of his future. A future, when I look back now, I wonder whether we were stupid. A future that has not come, and he speaks so convincingly that all of us want to be a part of it. Giving us roles in his future, and we are gladly jumping. I don't know if I'm getting what I'm saying. I told my twin brother, you will be the head of the 10,000 mass choir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that privilege. He didn't give me any role that day, so the next morning, and I told him, how far what will I do? He said, oh my God, sleep my mind. Let me sleep over it, I'll let you know tomorrow morning. I said, yay. And that sounds funny, but are you seeing how much confusion the 13-year-old boy was working with? I want you to milk the thing out. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So I was seeing a lot of conviction, a lot of peace, a lot of manliness in this young boy. It commanded follow our sheep. So we used to just follow him like bees or flies everywhere he went. The summary is, I now started paying the price small. So I chose one of the days where we were not eating. I don't have problem with any food. I don't discriminate any kind of food by the grace of God. So I don't have issues with any food. But the day I could still manage to say, okay, this particular food, I can still forgo, it was Saturday. And that was Eko in the morning and Eba in the afternoon. Like I said, I don't have problem with any food. But that's still the day I could still say, okay, I can sacrifice these two, just so I can be fasting once every week. And this was the beginning of hunger, just small responding. As time went on, something began to happen. Like I said, I met a friend, and it's still happening till date. Throughout our journey, I have seen the ministry, I call it the ministry, or the interplay of friendships and vital connections to shift you to the next phase of your life. Is somebody hear what I'm saying? Please declare this after me. In the name of Jesus, I receive stronger friends. I receive into my life stronger friends, more intentional friends. I receive into my life more broken friends, more sincere friends. I receive into my life more intentional friends, more serious friends, more charged friends. I don't play with this prayer one. And it has been answered again. You know, when God is doing something sovereignly, you now begin to cooperate with him so that it can happen even more. Are you following? Did you get what I just said? God was doing this sovereignly. Of course, people might have been praying for us to make that happen. But now that I am conscious of the fact that that had been happening, I now began to intentionally engage it. And it is still happening till today. In fact, my being here, I believe, is another answer again to that same prayer of coming in contact with friends who have what I don't have, or who have what I have in additional. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Come on. The response is, are you following me? Yes. Aha, please help me. So back to what I was saying. So if you are writing, the first friend was to bring me into what? Hunger. Are you following? Yeah. Now another connection happened again in, I think, 200-300 level. Now, by the way, we're pastor's children, so we grew up in church and so on and so forth. We saw church, we've done church and so on and so forth. All our lives. That we liked it or not. So I came in contact with these two guys who pushed my hunger even further. I was looking for something that I just couldn't place my hand on. How to go about birthing. I knew there was more, like many of us know there's more. The road to the more, we don't know. We shall know there's more. We're even declaring it. I tell everyone, I stress everybody. The route to that more, many of us are not aware. So the Lord was guiding our feet gradually. I met another two friends. And pay attention. God used this time around my pride to push me forward. He appealed, pay attention. I want to see how he was taking advantage of my flesh to achieve what he wanted to achieve in my life. That's why I know God is wise. Because the very thing that should make for evil, he can turn it into wisdom. The very thing they were trying to do to shut Joseph down by selling him was pushing him further, yes or no? Yes. If we go back in time now and advise Joseph, you will tell him, calm down, relax, don't vex. You are going closer, right? But that day, it didn't look like it was going closer, yes or no? Yes. So usually when you come out of the picture and look at your life, you see how wise God had been, instrumentally putting things together. So I met these two guys, and they came to me and told me that God told them that I'm one of his generals. And I was happy. Who doesn't like to be general? So he saw the pride, and the way he can get me now is to appeal to that what? I love God though. So he appealed to that pride because I was not a general. Even in anything. All I knew that time was leading prayer. I was a prayer leader by talent or by natural ability. If I lead you in prayer, you can't understand how 2 hours late. Remember, I said prayer leader, not prayer warrior. I didn't used to pray, but I had, that grace to step people. I would just talk and talk and talk and talk. So you enjoy the prayer, but you won't actually pray. So these guys met me and said, I'm one of God's generals. I want to have the privilege of praying with you. I said, okay. We thank God. We give God glory. Friday should be free. Thank you so much, sir, for this privilege. I didn't know they had more sense than me. Friday came, and they came pick me from the house or from the room I hosted, took me to Chapel of Resurrection, and then they started praying in tongues. I did not ever in my life speak in tongues beyond 1 hour before this night. General. But this time was my first introduction to 2.5 hours. I've shared this again and again everywhere I go to. These two guys began praying immediately with no opening prayer, no special number or worship and prayer. You get what I'm saying? They just began praying. And I was not used to that kind of thing. So I was waiting for when we would start the prayer. And I started speaking in tongues. By the way, I had only one tongue, Shekitelia, 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 as a general. And so I began my Shekitelia, 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 Shekitelia. After 5 minutes, I was wondering why prayer has not started, because as far as I was concerned, at this time of my life, tongues was not yet prayer. It was to stay ourselves and then we will now start prayer. Brethren, we are going to pray. Brethren, prayer is important. Brethren, we used 25 minutes to talk about the prayer. We prayed the prayer in 5 minutes. In Jesus' name, I pray. In Jesus' name. God. If you know why we need to pray, you won't be praying like this and sitting down. I was just crossing the road now and I saw somebody who had an accident. That guy got up. Only God knows what his plan was supposed to be. Nobody plans to die. But this guy suddenly is dead now. As we pray, we prepare power for the future. 55 minutes ago, I'm still talking about prayer. I want to pray. How many people understand what I'm saying? And we're enjoying the prayer meeting, yes or no? Because we're learning about Nigeria, we're learning about all manner of things like current affairs and so on and so forth. We're being inspired, wow, okay, business plan. All manner of things going on as the prayer is being led. But we're actually not praying. So these guys were another shift into another kind of praying that we still haven't recovered from anywhere until now. Are you following? You just follow. So that night we went through all the horror, and after 30 minutes I had not stopped, 1 hour I had not stopped, I became angry, I became offended. I was looking at them angrily. Like, what are we doing on this ground for 1 hour? They called me from my room, I've not started the prayer for now. 1 hour, 30 minutes left, they were still going, they got to calm down. Let's deal with God. What is she doing? And I was there. If I had a lot of tongues, it would have been sweeter. So it was just what? So I said it fast, I said it slowly, I said it. Now, after 2 hours, they came together and they began to travel in the spirit. The first one said, I'm seeing myself now. I'm seeing a woman in Spain. She's depressed, about to kill herself. Let's pray for her. And she will kill herself. I shouted, she can tell her that woman. She can tell her in Jesus' name. Second guy said, I'm seeing the guy in Iran. He's about to be killed for the gospel. Let's pray for him that he will not be killed. She can tell you, Jesus. She can tell you. It became very violent. She can tell you. Holy Ghost, she can tell you. At the end of that, they began to speak in tongues and interpret one by one. And my turn was going to reach. I escaped the first one. I don't travel anywhere. I just speak in tongues. Chapel ground. I don't know how you go to Iran. But this second one now, it looks like I'm taking tongues and it's going to reach my tongue.
The first one spoke, interpreted. The second one spoke, interpreted. And I had to prepare my interpretation before my turn reached. Summary is I spoke in tongues. Let's leave that. You want to hear it? And you won't laugh, but let me laugh. I feel shy, I don't laugh. So let me go ahead. So when you have been in church for all your life, there's no church game you can act, yes or no? So I said today, I don't know how these guys did it, but I will speak with tongues and I will interpret. And I did it better than them. I spoke in tongues, shake-it-telia. Don't laugh now. Shake-it-telia. Guys, look up. Look up. I said, you see the move. I said, you see the move. I said, you see this white light surrounding you? I said, see white light surrounding you. The Lord is telling me now that that's how angels are surrounding us right now. Why not? I like that statement, why not? Listen, because many people don't realize that you can't be wrong following scriptures. That day I thought I lied, but today I know that was prophecy. You hear what I just said? As many people don't know that after you being in the prophetic, and you start out with what has been written, what cannot be a lie. You watch prophetic people when they are going into details. They didn't pick anything about the person. They just saw Ada. Who is Ada here? This is Ada. Ada, come out. Up to the point that Ada is coming and they don't still know why they see Ada, but they stepped out by faith and the river opened up. Ada, God is going to bless you. As they said, God is going to bless you. You don't know why? They are seeing Thursday. Thursday. What is Thursday? Thursday is my birthday. Hey! It's a shout. I'm showing you what happens. That's why you notice sometimes Ada can stand. I do watch some of those videos. Ada can stand there at the end of the prophecy or the whole service and nothing again for Ada because it's only Thursday facing so. Who is Chibuzo? That's it. Come on. Chibuzo. I don't know. Oh, it's not what I meant. Are you following? That's just my name. Anyways, so I did that and then I told them in addition, God is telling me now that He has answered our prayers. Now to prove to Him that He has heard us, we should leave now and go back to the home. So they were all looking at me like, they were still looking at me. He said now, as a sign, we should start moving. So we started running back to the hostel. They say I'm a general, yes or no? The general has spoken. That's how you know people that have the prayerlessness disease. They hear God. They hear God telling them that they should not pray again. Now if He has had us, I don't know what that is to pray about. Yes or no? No, He has had these prayer points. I don't know that is that He needs to hear. But when prayerlessness is your PhD degree. So anyways, the ran back and told God that would never happen to me again. Thank you for giving me this kind of thing. I don't know what is wrong with it. But I never forgot how I felt. How I what? I knew this was me. And so I met that guy again. And I said, bro, how far? How did you guys come about praying like this? And he started telling me about the fellowship, that eventually got us into 12 hours, and then the story continued. And that time the Lord used my pride again, was when I got to Chapel of Resurrection, to pray my morning prayers. I started by 5 o'clock. This lady comes by 6. She was my final year. She was a senior of mine in law in final year. Please pay attention. And she began speaking in tongues. I should have known from her tongues that she was like those guys. Because her tongues were sounding very articulate and similar to theirs. I should have known that this person has prayer power. So I said to myself, let me prove to her that she met me here and left me here. As she started praying, she didn't know that she was competing with someone that she was praying. I started 1 hour before she arrived. If she had done 2 hours, how many have I done? If she does 5 hours, how many have I done? So she had done 2, 3, 4, 5 at the 6th hour. Of course, you can be sure I had slept. I had woken up. My pride did not allow me to leave. At that point, I became afraid. What if she wants to pray or what? I'm not asleep. How many times she wants to pray? She just went on and did not stop. I've got to give her a stomach down. Why don't you give it? And she was in 5 days. I said, why do 5 days? I'm not going to prayer life. All these things for ugly people. How can someone like this have a prayer life? I mean, pretty fine, like this is one of our big girls in faculty of law. What are you doing with a prayer? That's like 1 hour. Let me just prove to her that she met me here and then. Apparently, she was among that fellowship of people who used to pray that. So that day, of course, I was praying for her to finish praying. And eventually she finished the prayer and I got up and ran away. She must have just seen someone just stand up and just stand away. What happened to you? I have been competing on my own with someone I thought I was. Why I did not forget that. So I said to myself, whatever makes people spend time like this, I have to have it. Is that clear? Yeah. So I had a meeting that happens in December. This was just started in Lincoln. Those guys told me about it. They said, let me follow them and go and see if I would die or not. Because they said they would spend 12 hours praying and they would not sit down while they are praying. Tonight we are going to pray for a few minutes. So if you are around tonight, please rest this afternoon so we can pray tonight. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. This solved 90% of my problems as a Christian because I realized everything started making sense when I started praying. Understanding, obedience, and so on and so forth. The dots joining, the friendships, everything, speed, everything started when I started what? Praying. So it was a very important foundation. So from place to place, leaders pay attention. From place to place, ensure that you lay that block of what? Of prayer in the foundation of people. It does not matter, learn this early. It doesn't matter what dream you had. It doesn't matter who preached it. It doesn't matter how the prophecy came. You know, we like dramatic stuff. Some of us, God's hand is so much upon us that nobody prophetic person can stand there and not call us out. Like you are so sure. Even that 13 Adas, you know it's your Adad they are talking about. God is all. Are you getting what I'm saying? It will not come to pass until this foundation is laid. I learned that lesson in 300 level and it was permanent. I read a book by Zacharias Stanley. At the beginning of that book, he wrote in the preface, he said, this book is a product, listen, this book is a product of 6 hours of prayer for about 3 months. This book is a product of 6 hours of praying every night, that is 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. for 3 months to release the book. It was intercessor for Cameroon. When he died, Christianity shut down in Cameroon. Check today, Christianity literally till now is still having issues. That guy was singularly powering the thing. So imagine when a book is powered with that much prayer, what will it do to somebody who reads it? Are you hearing what I'm saying? These foundations these things enter into my foundation solidly, and that laid foundation for any kind of structure God wants to put on it. If I have a weakness, this is the weakness. I'm telling you. If we have an extreme, this is the extreme. If we have a problem, the problem is what? It's prayer. I'm telling you. Because I saw that we can't make any serious progress without it. People will be wasting time until they have learned this. I repeat, I don't care how inspirational the idea is. I don't care which man of God prophesied it. The sound things that we're experiencing now, it was prophesied by statured people. Bishop Manoki is a statured man. Statured people prophesied these things. But the prayer realm, powered. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It is so predictable that once I hear a person have results, I just ask, what was the... There is nobody. I looked for shortcuts for years. I didn't find it. Now, I still not found. There's nobody that did not give serious attention to this. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So that was solidly laid for us by those encounters with friends, experiences, and so on and so forth. So we started looking for how we pray, because now we need to pray, but we still couldn't bring ourselves to what? Have you been there before? Something you know you should do that you still can't bring yourself to do. Now when you are in that place, find somebody who will help you do it. Be sincere with yourself. If you feel weak, you should do this, you can't do it. Report yourself to somebody who will what? Help you do it. There are certain sacrifices I should make that even right now, sometimes I don't feel like making. But I know when I make the announcement and I gather people around, so let's do it together, I will come out at the end of the number of hours we plan. Yes or no? Are you not that? Yes or no? Some of you don't. I know you're not taking advantage of the help God has given by bringing people around you. Once you set up a structure around your walk with God, around your fire, it will never go down. Stop praying useless prayer like that. Let you still be standing in the future. There is a structure to keep somebody standing. I'm saying copy and paste from the physical realm. The things that we are seeing help us understand the invisible things. Romans 1, remember?
Yes, sir.
These things are not good. There is a way things work. If you can set up structures around that passion, that hunger, that fire. The fire, the passion, the intensity you are speaking, there's a structure surrounding it. Friendships, materials. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Don't expect it to just keep happening. Set up a what? A structure around it. If we are intense next year, it's because we are surrounded by what? Intense people. If we are still on our toes next year, it's because we have friends that are what? On our toes, challenging us. No matter what is happening in the meetings, I'm still going back to the hotel room. I tell you with all my heart, I can share this here. Sad, because I know what should be happening. Sad, no matter how many people were healed, no matter how many people were delivered, no matter how many people were set on fire for God. I'm excited, I'm happy, glory to God, but I'm still sad that lectures held the next day and I entered the campus. Lectures held the next day successfully and I entered the campus. Everybody even got back to their hostel successfully. And you say the meeting was powerful. If we had not seen better things before, we won't be talking like this. But because we have seen, how can the past be better than the present? I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So, anyways, friendships help to keep us, intense and keep us moving with us. This was the next thing friendship did. We got to this meeting in December, and then the drill began. The pastor told us, Jeremiah 3 verse 3, come unto me and on one Sunday I showed you the mighty things you that know it not. As we pray, we see. As we pray, we understand. As we pray, God shows us things. That was the prayer he did. He didn't teach on prayer. He didn't explain the prayer. He didn't tell us all the things that are going to happen to us as we are praying for 12 hours. To your left, to your body, and so on and so forth. He just advised us. You can begin slowly, and then, as we begin to draw to the close, we can be more intense and fervent. Are we ready? Yes. Are we ready? Yes. This meeting begins at 11 p.m. and the prayer will not end until the sun is hot. It's up and hot. I can't forget that statement. Up and what? Hot. So 11 p.m. we started. It was like tourism for me, because I'm coming from Healing and Deliverance Circle, where the average pastor does not really without starting this straight without. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Nobody does that. So who are these people that are going to keep their tongue rolling for the next 12 hours? And it's the first prayer for the next 12 hours again after like 4 hours rest. It was horror. Yes, that was it was. It was what? Horror. I watched people going into strange encounters, like shouting the pastor's name. Pastor Tikpam, in the midst of the prayer, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. One guy was walking like this. That's what I was doing. I was using laugh to buy time. Are you getting what I'm saying? You know when you're using laugh to just buy time? You can feel it. This guy was walking, and then I had to. Jesus. Jesus. Why? I was behind you. Everybody said, "You do walking night." You were running mad already. And the younger brother who I dragged along for the meeting had flown the fence the next day. Early in the morning, I come back home. So Shagam, I will leave in Ibadan. So during the morning sessions, I didn't see him. I was like, how far? Where are you? Where are you sitting? He said, me. And I'm from. How? They locked the gate. I flew the fence. I laughed at home. So if you feel like your body is clear, what's wrong with me? You're not alone. Is that clear? Is that clear? The fact that you don't feel like does not mean you don't do it. You give yourself, carry yourself, look at prayer and say, take, this is Lawrence, do him as you wish. He must feel the same. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And we need a lot of that in the body of Christ. People who will drag others, they will thank you for the rest of your life. Please drag your young children, your younger brothers, younger sisters. How old are you? Oh my God, I don't know how to look at children. He said 10. You speak it out, you know it. Shalanda. So we'll see at break time, alright? Also, I don't know. Have you felt the power of God before? Have you felt God's power before? What does it feel like? You know how to explain. You'll be able to explain it if I have to. Hallelujah. So when you see young people, I just have a passion for them. Don't let them waste time on this thing, alright? Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Let's do the one we can do rather than waiting for the one that we can't explain to happen. The one that we can sort out now. At least we can get. Are you getting what I'm saying? Don't be confused about what Jesus needs you to do. There's the one you will understand that you can do now. Get as many people saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, alright? While we are trashing out all the issues we have in the body. Because sometimes when I look at it, I don't know where to start from. You know what? Let's just reach out. Get people saved. Get people filled with the Holy Ghost. Hungry for God. And pray that we can now begin to successfully shut down. Because power is now available. Shut down the principles of the flesh. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This will help the work that God will be putting in your hands. Alright? Give prayer a lot of time. Hallelujah. Sometimes I'm gathering my teenagers and they don't know I'm trying to take advantage of the corporate atmosphere and energy to push that long. Till today, I've never spent more than 24 on my own. But it's easy to go beyond that 36 and so on and so forth, 72, 96, 120, when I'm with people. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When I'm with people, we just sit down. It's a beautiful setting. This is like the central room at church. Just sit down with chairs all over the place and sound is playing. Let's find out if we will die. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Till day 3, your tongue is what? I started noticing the weight of the words, Jesus. The weight of the sounds, Jesus. If it is not said, people will not know. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Like you might not know that on the album, sound was may not be heard on. We generated 1,500 hours of power. That is 1,500 hours of speaking in tongues, praying for the album. So if you hear it and you shut down literally and 3 days straight, you can't do anything apart from speaking in tongues. It has a reason, yes or no? Are you getting what I'm saying? We have been singing since we were 6 years old, so singing is not the issue. We are talented singers, creative, and so on and so forth. That's not the problem. That's not what people need now. People need energy to fly. People want to fly but can't fly. People know what they should do but are not energized to do it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes, so usually it's because those who are speaking the words or releasing the sounds or writing the books or churning out materials are not powering it with prayer. Is that clear? Yes. Once I learned this and learned this well, it saved a lot of time that we would have wasted. Alright? I really cannot overemphasize that. So, anyways, the journey continued, and then we had to pray more and more. Again, God used my pride. That's what I remembered. God used my pride again in that meeting, that conference. In our chariot, because they gathered together 20 by 20. That time we were about 200. Now they're thousands. I don't go again because the hours is no longer 12 hours. And me, I pray in tongues, sometimes I sit down. They don't sit down. And they're going like that, 36 hours. Last year was 36 hours. And they only kneel down. I think now they're allowed to kneel down after 24 hours. It sounded like it's not real, I mean. It's real. It's very real, and it's happening in Nigeria. And it's happening among people who don't even know that they're anything called remnant. As far as I'm concerned, this is basic Christianity. I saw everybody in the church works miracles, all of them. So when they were asking after we went for evangelism, how many of you got blind eyes healed? I thought they were asking for those who are saved, because everybody's hand was going on. I raised my hand, saved. Blind eyes. How many of you got mad people? People they run after mad people. I watched it. Chasing them to force them to catch the madman. The madman will be running away from me. I say, God, this is so terrible. So are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes, sir. So when I saw all that, then during the I think I should really see again. I will not die. Hallelujah. But it's very stressful anyway. That discipline, we are lacking it again in the body. So like I said, make yourself do it by giving yourself to it. Because you need it. Is that clear? Yes, sir. And if you don't know the value of a charged spirit, let me tell you one. Everybody whose spirit is charged has capacity to start things on you. As I'm speaking now, I can shut down things people have said before. I'm telling you, in 45 minutes, I can shut down what you have known for 10 years. You might think, no, I'm not taking that. Watch your life. I have entered your foundation because of the charge on the words. You hear what I just said now? Yes, sir. Sure. What I doubt is if you had it at the depth, you should hear it. But I know you had. This is very serious because I'm sure some of you might have noticed that even the Holy Ghost cannot send messages without the image of those who are more charged than you. He's using the presence of people's spirits to pass across to you, to show you that, Kai, once a person is charged, even his thoughts can inform what you are receiving as God's voice. I know you didn't hear that one. That I can come here in this meeting now and spend 5 minutes and all the remaining ministers will be echoing what I said. Because it will enter the atmosphere, because they were charged or coming from charged. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Has it happened to you before? Everyone will be repeating it, and in your mind, sometimes it will be the voice of the Spirit, but sometimes it is the weight that follow the word that condition the atmosphere to keep moving around the same what? Utterance. Anyway, let's leave that aside. So it's important to keep your spirit charged, because or else you become subject to the many voices that are heard. Some of them are heard, some of them are bitter against other pastors, some of them are trying to get back at something or the other. So they just mess things up by teaching all manner of things that you would have been able to resist or withstand if you spend time what? So as you study the word of God, also spend time praying. Alright? So your spirit can stand and receive and say, I don't want this one, I want this one. This one won't help me. It makes sense here, but it was trying to say. Are you getting what I'm saying? Or else I just swept away the strength or the weight coming from the spirits of people. Satan likes to pollute church people because he can do things on a large scale. He can pollute the river from a large scale. So there's something in the river. You just notice that everybody that drinks it is behaving like that. I noticed it. And some of those men that we came in contact with and drank, everybody that was drinking from them had a particular way they behaved. And I was wondering, so predictable that these people are like this. I realized that the church spirit is very, 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 very powerful. I think it's not necessary. Let's just keep on. So, anyways, a lady in the retreat or in the conference made a statement. She summarized all our prayer life. She said, let's come together, because once in a while we'll come together. Maybe after 2-3 hours, she'll talk for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Let's pray. As we pray, power generated. Let's be encouraged. Go ahead, pray. Something like that. She just get us together and just energize us. Then go and pray. So as we came together, she said, pray. You know, this happens once a year. And you can't pray like this till this time next year. So take advantage of it now. I know it was not the devil that did that. It was the Holy Spirit doing what? Taking advantage of my ego. He explained it to me. He said, you know what she just did now? Summarize your prayer life. From now to December next year, you can't pray 12 hours. I said, me. Go to Faculty of Law the next week, D24. The next month, another 12, on the fire prayer. The next week, another 12, that's how the power of God look out in our lives. Can you celebrate the Holy Ghost? I don't know if you are following what's happening. He was taking advantage of my weakness to establish his strength. No wonder Paul said, I will now be glorying what? By the power of Christ. He is wise. He's wiser than you, even wiser than your weaknesses. If you can just be sincere, that's why I tell you, you can just be sincere. You can't help yourself. So just be sincere, come before him. He is taking advantage even of your ignorance and weaknesses to establish his strength in your life. You will be grateful. Some of you found yourself here, in God because you probably went for a meeting looking for a woman, right? Yes. Come on. Someone had that witness. It happened to you. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Was it working from God that brought you? It was a woman. I see where he is. That's why I love Jesus. Even in the dark times when it was as if I turned my back and said, I'm not doing it again. I've gone through that. Now lasting about 3 to 6 months, I'm not doing it again. And another heat came again. I'm going to all that. Anyway, so That's how we broke into the power of God. And once you taste it, usually it's permanent. The problem is permanent. So we kept on, going on and on and on and on. And that's how that went on. Now the matter of purging in our hearts began to take place. I tell people this, you might not feel like your heart is right, but please don't let that be the reason to withdraw. The fire will purge you. So come. Is that clear? You might feel like your motives are not right, you might feel like you are not fine at all. It should never be the reason to what? To withdraw. Ensure you are coming, because the fire will what? It will purge you. So this fire I was giving myself to, which prayer and word of God of course generates, which we know, was purging and cleansing the motives and the intentions in our hearts. When I look back, I wonder how God was even managing in the first place to talk to me, not to talk of this way. Because of all the things that were in my heart. Ambition was there, alive. All these things can power sacrifice. That's why it must be just Jesus. We are going to a place where it's just what? Jesus. I love your Jesus. Ambition can power sacrifices. It's powering so many sacrifices right now in the body, yes or no? It powers, in fact, it's a very strong fuel. It powers what? Sacrifices. Ambition. That's why the scripture says that you might give your body to be burnt and still not what? Still not have love. Isn't that strange? All manner of sacrifices can be powered and it's still not who? Jesus at the same time. So I heard about, including move of God. I heard about, a man of God who was in UI, who God used to turn the campus upside down. He was not the president of the General Body, but he had a meeting that everybody gathered around. Nobody felt the president when he was doing this meeting. The whole school will gather and they will teach them the word of God. Pastor Ehi. I said, wow, what did you do? Because at this point, I already had a basic sense. Remember what I said yesterday? Is this here today? Today, okay. That truth will save you time. Learning truth early will save you what? Time. So I had already established that in my head. Nothing just happens. You need to get this into your foundation. Nothing just what? Happens. So I had known that what resulted in these guys is what I want to find out. Nothing like it just happened. God have mercy on you. See, stop that nonsense. Learn it as early as possible. Nothing just what? Happens. It will solve problem of laziness, irresponsibility in your Christian life. Nothing just what? Happens. The other extreme of it is you always think that you must always do something before. You get what I'm saying? But if I feel like if I do that one, that the one way you just sit down and nothing's happening and you're expecting God to come and do what you are supposed to make happen. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So you will be balanced out as you are walking. Don't say, I'm just frustrated. One time I was telling Jesus, look at me, you should be afraid. All these men that was thinking they have betrayed you, they started better than I'm starting. See my heart, see the way I'm doing like this. Are you sure you can trust me? I don't want to hurt you. I started crying. I don't want to do again like they're doing. I've become a mighty, powerful man of God, and my word is law over the lives of millions. And I bring people and I hurt you again. I don't want to do what they're doing. Don't raise me up if you're going to watch me experience that. Or come to a point where your name literally is Kai. And I do something. And then people are beginning to believe that there's no way that can live right because of me. Because I was seeing the tendencies. I was still lost in. I was still also leading prayer. I was still also doing all the things that can do as a vibrant believer on campus. So I knew that these our fathers were more resolute than this. Some of them did not even know what woman is. They didn't have any other passion or hunger or panting in their hearts. Have you heard their stories? Come on, have you heard their stories? So when we point at them and it's looking like, this person now is not distracted. I'm like, me that I'm distracted, I started distracted. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Me that I started distracted. I started with trying to What's the assurance that I'm going to? So anyways, ambition was judged one night when I heard what the pastor, that guy did. He went around UI 7 times, or 7 nights, every night, 7 days. I said, okay, I'll do it so that God can be revealed in this campus. So I started my church. First night, second night, third night, fourth night, fifth night, sixth night, seventh night. The 7th night, I go to chapel ground. I check around UI. As I put my feet on the ground, I heard the voice of God. Whose footprint will you leave in the sands of time? I remember all those motivational quotes. Leave a mark. Don't just come and go and nothing of you remain. What would they say you did? You know, I remember all those thoughts. But somewhere in my heart, I knew that looks as if I'm not supposed to say that. It's Jesus. And you might have the right answer, but if the question came, then there's something you need to address in your heart. Because some of us, we have been so churched, you can answer any question well, right? Are you following? Yes. So I gave God the right answer. It's your footprint, Lord. It's your footprint. I want to stamp your footprints in this campus. You know, I want to spread your fame. I want to. But somewhere in my heart, I knew he doesn't ask stupid questions. If he's asking this question, it's because somewhere in my heart, I still want to be in the center. You know, it's not a bad thing to be in the center of what God is doing. But I still want to be. Are you getting what I'm saying? I still want to be, you know, to be known in the process of whatever God is doing. And I tell you sincerely, sometimes some of these things you have to die to it 3 times. Sometimes in your walk, you die to it 40 times. Because some of us, we don't eventually die, we just faint. We just collapse. We start breathing again. So let's just say I collapsed that day on that subject. Because and we die at different levels. Like Paul said, I died daily. You know. So anyways, I began to die to ambition. And what made it even easy was the carryover I had. But I don't like to talk about this because those who sometimes were lazy and that led to the carryover, you know, use it as a, okay, alright, so I can have carryover and still be great. The point is, many Christians are indisciplined and are not excellent because they are indisciplined. And I'll be sincere with you. I was what? Indisciplined. It's not because I could not succeed and still what? I still thrive as a prayer champion. But I was indisciplined. Are you feeling as if your hunger is draining? It's not new. My dad had to shut me down to academically. Sit down, finish your project, finish your book, because I felt like I won't graduate. I was crying, telling him, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Because nothing was making sense again. I picked the book, it's not making sense. I closed it and I started reading Bible again. But I started speaking in tongues in the library. So, crying with tears, my classmates, I said, it's finished for this guy. So I can understand the hunger, whatever it is that is doing anybody here. But what that experience did to me, the carryover, was that it put me in a posture where my pride, remember I'm talking about pride. We're very proud people. You know, there was no reason to need anybody or anything. I don't remember which year I started having prayer points. There was no prayer points in our life. Everything we needed, we had. You know? So, one thing I had to deal with was pride. So when I had carryover, I started feeling good for nothing. Do you know that it was that feeling of insecurity and good for nothingness that led me to go for ministrations? So I would go for meetings just to satisfy the feeling that I'm good for nothing on campus. Because in Yoruba land, education is very important, yes or no? You understand what I'm saying? In the West, education is very, very, important. You can have money and still feel ashamed of yourself when you sit with your colleagues. So I'm showing the East here. Oh my God! It's like I have all the degrees. Ego is not involved. You are ashamed of your destiny. Oh my God. So in the West, you can literally commit suicide because of the carryover. Because your whole life you become gloomy, I've met people who had carryovers now after they are like, what was not doing me? These guys are fine, like I have to go because Air Force. It's only one that transformed my spiritual life. I'm not joking. Transformed my whole spiritual life. I became meek, lowly, and humble after only one carryover. We're popular twins, no, these guys are two popular twins, they were just yellow and shiny everywhere. And this guys. So when it hit me, I entered about 2 years depression. In the room, my roommates don't know me. I'm quiet all day, all the time. Nothing to just about, laugh about, because nothing is funny again. And so everything I was doing was to power the change of the career, because I believed God throughout that 2 years. In fact, I didn't know I had been so hurt by that experience. I had to heal from it in 2016, December, yes. I didn't know I'd been so I felt hurt by God. I had to heal from being hurt by God. God didn't hurt me, of course. I felt hurt by God because of some experiences. I thought, I can't be angry with God now. We all know God is righteous, right? But how many of you know that you can be hurt, but you can feel hurt by God, even though you know that He cannot do right, He can't do wrong. I could preach it theology. Are you getting what I'm saying? I could preach it. God cannot do wrong. God is not easy for the carryover. In fact, I could even show you practically how I was, maybe not giving attention as much as I should to my roots. However, something in me still expected God to, despite that, still do something about it. If you love me, Abba. Yes. What's the big? Are you getting what I'm saying? The one I thought I would fail, I didn't fail. The one I thought I would pass, the one I not fail. So, despite the weight of manifestations that were following, my back was like this. As long as Carnival was not sorted out, nothing meant anything to me. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So that was a process where we were very, very humble. I remember how the Holy Ghost really, as far as I was concerned, took advantage. That's the best way to put it. Took advantage. Because every instruction he could not give me was giving me. And I was obeying. Greet that woman. As simple as that. Good afternoon, man. God will bless you, man. I said, pick the refuse. Look at me. My soul was very, very tender. Pick all this refuse. All this refuse. I should pick all the refuse on me. What other people dropped on before I should I started picking refuse. I remember greeting one trainer. God will bless you for the way you're cleaning the lady thought I was mad. I said, oh, see, student that is. I said, okay, again. Can't you get me? Because I stopped. Nobody stops and greets cleaners. Are you following? But I stopped and I was greeting her. Well done, man. The way you're cleaning, God will just bless you. God will just bless you. I pick one and help her to close at the basket. She was looking at me as I finished and left. So every instruction God gave, preach in the car, I will be. Everything, so that what will happen. So look upon me and say, the guy has sense now. Everything changes. Then I'll come out of it and be very excited. Are you following? Yes. And this might not be the process some of you have to pass through. But I'm sure there are a couple of persons here who were in that place where we're vulnerable and we're very responsive to God. So are you seeing how God took advantage of my needs to push me further in His desire and His will as far as conformity? So in that process, I learned a lot of humility. People could now talk to me anyhow. People could now do a lot of things that they couldn't do to me before and get away with. In meetings where I cannot but talk, I was now able to keep quiet. Because upon all I know, I had a what? Carryover. I remember when the second one hit, I cried. I can still remember my daddy telling me, you don't dance when I did praise and worship. Why don't you dance? And I told him, there's nothing to dance about. I've never been that harsh and fair to my dad before because there's nothing to dance about. I can't agree to him. It was like a demon spoke. Depression, I was holding him for 2 years. But I said, wow, how will you say that kind of thing? God is worthy to be praised. I know God is worthy to be praised. Right now, I'm not in the mood to be faking it and laughing. Tell everybody, look, tell everybody, look, for the Lord, look. I'm not in the mood. There's nothing to look at. I was expecting until I had a dream and they called me to the exam and records. I said, we're very sorry, your result actually is 67. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. And I woke up. But that one gave me hope again that this thing will still happen. So I kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. The long story short, a lot happened to me in that process. And when the one that hit me the second time hit me, I can remember how I read Bible from morning till night so that I will not go, into another bout of depression. I just shut everything down. Some of you have learned to drown things from those moments of depression. How many of you understand what I'm saying? How many of you understand what I'm saying? God bless you. Till now, I'm still learning to unwind. I know how to shut down. That's why I learned shut down. Shut down from everything. But God does not want you to shut things or people down. God wants you to have capacity to confront it. Somebody's not hearing what I'm saying. God doesn't want you to master drowning people, especially those who talk against you or those who persecute you or so on and so forth. He doesn't want you to learn how to drown them like they don't exist and then live with them. But you have drawn a line that they cannot cross. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. People you can go with me to meetings with, but you know that we are not sharing fellowship. You can laugh with, how are you now? Hey! But you know that you're on that side, I'm on this side, and there's nothing. Let us act the church drama. You get what I'm saying? Let us do as if we are fine. That's why I learned all those nonsense that some of us have picked up. And I learned that that is not how God wants us to live. He wants us to be vulnerable with each other, transparent. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If people cannot hurt you, it means you don't trust them. Trust empowers the person to hurt you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And love trusts. I will repeat that again. If people cannot hurt you, many times, listen. It does not mean that you should be the kind of person that you can always be hurt. Be large in your heart that you are free from offense. But I'm saying that many of us, the reasons we can't be hurt is because we have learned how to what? How to shut people down, how to drown, people. And we're just cool, we've locked our hearts, we're just having fun. But they can't actually access our hearts. I used to boast about that. Nobody can offend me. I have to lock everybody out. Nobody can offend me apart from my twin. Nobody can offend me. But once I opened my heart, I could now get offended. I remember telling Jesus at one point that, you see, are you seeing now? I've opened my heart now. I'm now sincerely loving people and see what people are doing to me. And the point is not to shut your heart, it's to outgrow offense. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So don't look for quick fixes, don't look for easy ways out. Sort your heart out. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
The fact that I easily offended is because something is wrong with you. So sort it out. You can actually come to a point where sincerely, there's no matter how everybody does. Kaya, there's a wall of love around you. Nothing is interpreted as hurt. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Where was I? Sorry. The second hit here. I remember how I read Bible one day and had a meeting the next day. And the Lord used manifestation, but that's what used to calm me down. Remember I said when manifestations happen in meetings, I feel at least some level of I'm good for something. I wanted to hear demons shout my name. Lord, I hate you. At least. I might not be anything in class. It's not my class. I know who I am. Follow me to my own area. Lift up your hands everywhere. I'm not interested in you getting saved. Break the chain. Fly out of the window. Die and resurrect under power. So I just stand. At the count of 3, if those angels don't move, heaven will find out that the son is not happy. What's amazing is that God was making it happen, because at least that was keeping my heart at least just not totally collapsing under depression. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. When I look at the process now, I'm amazed how God was using all manner of things. That's why I'm careful with people's processes. He can use almost anything to get you where he wants to get you to. I used to be so violent. I'll still come to that. So violent, I break chair preaching. When there was preaching of holiness, and I said, some of you every chair. I preach with so much trust. I believe if I'm preaching, I am not crying. I'm wasting my life. I remember I finished preaching one day. A lady ran as I was talking. She just ran. Yes. It means that I'm preaching. After I heard someone one day, I didn't know that some of these things were expressions from heart. I was so angry. You can feel the hurt as I'm speaking. You don't know, but there are men of God in Nigeria who are hurt. And that's why when the sermon is over, you can't walk up to them. Did you hear what I said? Don't worry. Because of what rested in the process. It is inside the river. They are not healed from a lot of things. So the job will be done. We have gone through this. The job will be done. But at the end of it, people will be insecure around you, afraid, fearful. Because of that thing is just inside the river. You are not comfortable with it. There's no freedom and love and expression. You know, but just, are you getting what I'm saying? If you don't understand, don't worry, just read. Okay, so as I was saying, in this meeting, I like this meeting because it was very dramatic. I think God used it to just pat my back and relax. Went for this meeting, secondary school. I told them to gather around because I just got hit the day before. I was not in the mood, but I promised them I'll be there. So I said, Jesus, I will still do this because I love you. See, I'm still going even though this happened. Are you saying I love you? So I went there, and I asked them to just please come around. Let's just go and rest. Put in the house. So just take that song. Lord, you are more beautiful. So I can just tell them, God bless you as you sleep. God will strengthen you in Jesus' name. I plan to spend like 3-5 minutes. Are you following? I just came around. Father, we just love you. Father, we thank you. You think the tears is... Are you getting what I'm saying? You think the tears is because you love Jesus, but a lot of things have happened. So right now your soul is very tender. Everything you are saying, you are meaning it. I'm coming there. I learned that vital lesson that I am emphasizing almost every day of my life today. Being intentional in that time of pain. Because there was no God engagement. And that's the one of the messages I have for you guys today. There was no God engagement or interaction that was not intentional because of the pain. You know why? Pain puts you in a place where you have to mean what you are doing. Are you following? Yes. You said something upstairs. You said you notice in your life that anytime you pray that, you describe a kind of prayer, like God comes through for you. Do you know that's the reason many people are stuck for a long time? They don't know how to find that place where they pray that kind of prayer that always, you can pray that kind of prayer every day. But you don't pray that kind of prayer until you get where? That's why Isaac was telling his son that when you grow what? Restless. You will what? Break his yoke from off your neck. What if you are living your everyday life restless? Can you imagine how far you go in your Christian life? So the songs you sang this morning, you probably didn't mean them as we were singing it. Simply put, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Thank you for privilege. You think it's funny, but you don't know that that's why Christians are in one place for years. I learned this thing early. There is no circle of people who are going to make progress in presence and God consciousness until they are deliberate with every word and every song. I pray you heard what I just said now. Yes. I I know your ears heard it. I'm saying, I'm praying you hear it once and for all in your spirit. Jesus was preaching for 3.5 years, and he found out after 3.5 years that they were not hearing him. So it's not me that we now believe that it's that statement I made that you heard. If it's that simple, it won't be where we are in Christianity. And that's why we also pray the amount of praying we are praying. It's because people don't hear what you have prayed. And so I will not go and kill ourselves because we want people to hear. We made them pray too. So that we will not pray all the prayer that we cannot pray before we are even 70. So everybody should just be praying so that when you are talking, they are hearing you. I will repeat myself again. As long as you were not intentional with that statement, as long as you were not deliberate with that song, as long as you did not first begin by consciously admitting in your heart that Jesus is here, and the way I'll talk to him if I see him is the way I'm talking to him now. Before you start doing anything, you will not increase in presence and God consciousness. Let's read that. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
So please hold that very, 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 very seriously. Because I've watched, I know what it means to spend 3 months and we didn't build even in presence and God consciousness. I know what it means to spend 3 months tonguing every day, 12 hours, sometimes 15, and so on and so forth. And still, people were still not bold enough to confront Satan as far as the works of darkness on the streets and everywhere. We're still shy for evangelism because the God consciousness is not sitting as we're having our meetings. It's like an act. It doesn't matter how many hours. As long as it's an act, it's a what? It's an act. It's just acting for a longer time. But if it's 1 hour and you are deliberate and intentional, this thing should not take time, sincerely speaking. Sincerely speaking, it shouldn't take time. My father has never prayed 12 hours in his life in tongues. He has never prayed 12 hours in his life in tongues. I've seen many of these fathers. They don't even remember when last that happened. They don't really, they are just intentional. That was inside their foundation, their block. They don't come without knowing that he is even level 6 and is a rewarder. They are intentional with every God engagement. But today, all over the campus, from place to place, we have to keep on laying this foundation because I see that's the reason we are stuck. We are not intentional with our praying and our singing and our clapping. If we were, my God, I'm telling you, you cannot spend 2 weeks and the river will not get out everywhere. You can't hide it. It's a lie. I've seen it practically on the move of God on campus. No group of people intentionally engage and does not become a problem. They have to stop meeting. I'm telling you. It will build until everyone begins to pay attention. Ask the Acts of Apostle Christians. How many days were they there? How many days were they there? 10 days in the upper room. Building. That's what happened. They were building. 10 days. Until life didn't make sense. That's after 40 days of teaching. Jesus, resurrected Christ, taught you for 40 days. Can you imagine what life is inside your body? You're not easy to press for 10 straight days. You'll be mad. So you see why we're not bringing forth results, because we're not putting pressure on the. That's why I wanted men of God that will push me. Nothing serious can happen until we start doing like that. I don't care what you saw, how God said it, how dramatic it was, until you give yourself to that kind of intense stretch of pressure on your spirit, some things will never come out. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Add this to what you have, alright?
Yes, sir.
You might not have the time now, but that you never plan to have the time in the future means you're not serious about being used by God. Are you getting what I'm saying? Check the scriptures. It had always been like that. Check the scriptures. It had always been like that. So when I heard that our fathers do that too with faith, I said, wow. So my ones that are just hearing though, they are all doing like this. Take out time, 1 or 2 months, just be alone. Just keep on, constantly, every day, building. It will follow your materials. Whatever you cannot do, your materials can't do it. Is somebody hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you can do, your materials can what? Don't pray for your materials to do it. It is doing what you can do. The Bible says handkerchiefs and aprons were taken from where? They were not prayed for. They were taken from his body. So what he does, those materials cannot what? Cannot do. So while you have a passion to write a book so people can encounter the spirit realm and become hungry, Joe, it's a beautiful thing that you want to do. It's a wonderful idea. But if you already do not have a strong fellowship with that realm you want to open up, don't stress people's minds with another new book. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You need money so you can live and survive your life. Go ahead, write the book, get money. But you really want to power something in the body, please, I beg you, learn this lesson fast. Please, I beg you, learn this lesson what? Fast. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Never hang around people who use scriptures to come out for weaknesses. Alright? Explaining the way why you don't have to give yourself personal prayer. For example, I'm giving myself now to being more serious with fasting. I have not been as serious with fasting as I have been with what? The prayer. So now I want to add that, that discipline and just see what happens. I notice that when I give myself to prolonged fastings like that, it's easier for fleshly tendencies to die. If you already know the route to establishing things, then don't sit down just expecting it to happen one day. Give yourself, are you hearing what I'm saying? Give yourself to the process. That establishes those things. The early church noticed that people were now backbiting more and now fighting more, quarreling over food. How they distributed food. How did we get to this place? So they sat down and spoke and said, okay, it looks as if I'm getting distracted. What was the answer? We will now give ourselves what? Continually. To what?
Prayer.
And what? Listen, prayer and what? Are you saying they were not preaching again? The apostles were no longer preaching, they were just serving food. That would be very sad. But it looks like the word they were ministering was no longer powering. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. So people were hearing and still what? Fighting. Hearing and still what? Lasting. Hearing and still what? Hallelujah.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
So what was I saying? Let me begin to. Everybody else. Who remembers? So what? Okay, and then I said the Holy Ghost tapped my back with the conversation that happened that night. One lady, at the end of the meeting, her hand was up like this. And so I was like, what is this? Because I said, Lord Jesus, bless your children as they go back to the roots. Lord, I just love you, Jesus, I love you. Everybody started screaming, shouting. So I opened my eyes. And I like katakata. So I said, Jesus, what's happening? I'm not in the mood. I will never forget how I laid down on the bed and I said that night, thank you, Sha. But please, Jesus, help me tell God and sort out my result. God bless you. And I slept. No kidding. It was the next day I realized that they're not theologically correct. I don't remember my theology that prayer. God does not bless Jesus or bless God. Say, God bless you. Excellent. This same power, just release small. Help me just tweak the result. You don't have to tweak it in the people's just tweak it to the records and I transmit. Because I can't face this pain another 1 year. I can't. I remember stepping into the hall, and those who know me and who have been, we have got transparent mouths, watching me enter the exam hall, looking at me as they saw the demon. I said, Kai, it has happened. When it was happening the second time, you can't imagine how I felt. Jesus can't tell me lies me after this. So when those encounters broke out among those children, the next day, one of them could not even come close to me. He said, there's light all over you. I said, come here, my friend. Come closer. Sister, I can't come closer to you. I can't come closer to you. All my mind was on is as if God is trying to. This lady described all the encounters she had. At the end of the entire story, I was encouraged. Try to move through again that 1 year, then UIP was broke out. All the manner of things that we can't begin to go into now that broke out on our campus. Not a single night did I say, "Kak, I'm a bad guy." I don't mean I was fighting with pride. There was no pride. It now made sense to me. And once he had my heart where he needed to be, he could put anything and not be afraid. Because as far as I was concerned, if I was anything, ordinary result or something, if I can't even pass exam, he said I'm a bad guy. So I had given up in the power of my face to accomplish anything. And so when I listen to messages and I see people's processes, it makes sense to me again and again. And it's just different scenarios. It's this same route of dying to, the very same things he wants to give you. Hallelujah. Amen. So the journey continued more and more and more and more and more. There are many other things that, we can pick from the stories of our lives as we keep on paying attention to the details of how God was leading us. I want to wrap it up. Then we'll continue the night. As you listen, as you go for conferences, as you see God, as you mingle, as you meet people, as you open your heart to men of God, and those God will be sending to be a blessing to you, please interact with the Holy Ghost and fall in love with Jesus. Because that's the fuel that powered us and will continue to power us when every other fuel fails. What happened to me in final year was that I saw his tears, I saw his need. I fell in love with the man who was humbly enough to lead me. Jesus. I kept falling in love with him again and again, year after year, especially when I told him I'm not doing it again, and he patiently waited until I had sense again, and still loved me. These are simple statements and revelations, right? But that love that I have for him power sacrifices that you will sit down and be watching. You will watch your life and not understand what it means to do this kind of things. It's not just people that will be watching. You yourself will sit down and be watching. Because love is literally stronger than death. There's nothing you can't do when you love people. This will solve all the. Have you come to a point where you have so many things that you have learned that you now know you should do, and you don't know where to start from? And I'm confused on which one you should start with. We should meditate, we should fast, we should be obedient, we should, and the things are just piling up and you're confused on what exactly does he want, or where should I start from? You know, I'm hearing that we should pray Ephesians 1:16, so our eyes can be open. I need to spend that praying the Holy Ghost for longer. Okay, all right. I'm also hearing that I need to, you know, everything is just getting. I said we should also fast as well. Okay, he said we should also be giving as we give. Open us and God. My dear, can you love God? Because when you love God, everything is summarized inside. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? And so that love encounter happened that night. I called for people to come and pray because again of my desire to be charged, to carry power, to carry fire, you know, revival and so on and so forth. I asked people to come. Chapel ground, let's pray. Some of battery level 20 over 100. Some about the story. Saying, I want to charge, you know. Let's charge. Let's see what will happen. I saw what it meant to be allocated. I said, wow, what if I'm now 100? What will not happen to me? So let's start charging. So we set the date. May 13th, and we gathered 55 of them. As we were all speaking in tongues, I heard this voice say, thank you. So I said, thank you. I thought it was be sarcastic, that I wasn't giving him thanks. So I said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for giving us grace to pray. Thank you for empowering us. Thank you for empowering sacrifice. Thank you for all the things that you know you have. He said, no, Lawrence, thank you. It didn't make sense to me. Does God thank the human being? Thank me for what? I started repeating myself again. I said, no, you are the King of glory, King of everlasting Father, everlasting God. No, we just talk and talk and talk. So when I was doing all that, he said, no, Lawrence, thank you. And so I calmed down. I said, thank you for what? What have I done that you help me to be like? I'm doing it because we helped you. I should not thanking you. He pointed at the 55 people. Said, thank you for this. I began to cry and cry and cry. Is that how much you need people to pray? That day I swore. No, it's not scripture. It's not swearing. I swore. There's no better way to express it to him. I said, I swear, if I will use my life, waste it on this subject, everybody that is a Christian will pray. So I can say that's officially where our problem now started. And we kept on and got the gates point officially. And from that moment on, it was a good problem because everyone started making sense from that point. As we give ourselves to prayer, the work of the Holy Ghost in our lives can be heightened. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. So as we are praying, also remember to yield, because as the work starts, you can still resist the movement, right? Yes. Come on, can you hear me? Yes. So as we are praying, the movement will begin, but you can resist it, and you will use those who are yielded, even though you are the one who prayed. So that you have people who pray and still don't get to enjoy the fruits of their prayers. Some of us want to be like that. Okay. So please be flexible. When you love somebody, it is instruction you want to do, not necessarily all the good things you think you will like. So if he wants you literally not to marry, or to marry, and so on and so forth, whatever it is, whatever the sacrifice is. One young lady who, had a dealing with God and didn't have any plan to marry. Okay. Didn't have any plan to marry. Sincerely have, people just talk about their own guy. I don't think I want to marry. This one is serious. Actually did not plan. I mean, she was not married. So she, of course, was from encounters from revelation and all that, and she was going about it wonderfully well and all that. She didn't have any plan for that. Only, and as she was always saying it, actually used to get me jealous, but she's saying it like, kind God. Then I told her I have a problem. I see someone giving God that much. Like, it's not like I like women. I can do this too now. I can give God, but I don't think he wants it from me, that's why. But recently, Jesus asked that question, will you do anything for me? Yes, I've given everything already now. So you should be afraid when he's asking you that question. Will you do anything I ask you to do? Why are you talking like this now? I'll do anything. So I want you to get married. She went for 2 days. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Ladies cry because somebody broke their heart. This one wept for 2 days because she's now to marry. So I felt a nudge. I was on retreat. I felt a nudge to call and just check on her and encourage her. Call. I said, how are you? I said, I hope all is well. She just burst into tears. You believe what he did? He's always doing this. He's always doing this. I said, oh. God, there's nobody in your life who broke your heart. He said, he's telling me I'm going to marry you. I didn't know whether to laugh with the excitement. I don't know if it's the right time to use it. She's actually in pain. I said to myself, you know I told you that the way you are carrying this thing on your head, this Jesus I know. I just know it's small, sha. The fact that you don't want to marry is the reason he will ask you, so that you can also die to this one. Don't hold anything, no matter how wonderful it looks. Don't hold on to it. See, I will say something. There are some of us, because of our desires and wirings at the moment, there are instructions we can't hear. You can't believe Jesus can ask for it. The way I don't want to be a pastor now, imagine God is asking me now to go and pastor. I thought he just want me to be just, away from all that is going on in the book of Christ and just, prepare myself for the future. I can't be asking me to now get into it and now get involved with it. It can't be now. No, it can't be you that is talking. But love, you might not understand what is going on with the process, but love will keep you in obedience because you love him. You love him. You love him. So if you truly love him, it's what he wants that you now love. No matter what it looks like, no matter how funny the instruction looks, because you love him, you love what he wants you to do. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that helped us with obedience. God's servant, Pastor Mike was speaking yesterday and giving us, the consecrations that help for progress as a Christian. I began to write some things. It's scattered all over scriptures. Psalm 119, verse 97. We'll do it very, very fast. I want you to just see how, love powers all these consecrations. If you can love God very stresslessly, people will be looking at you and wondering how you are doing it. But if you can love God very stresslessly, you find yourself doing the things that people commit themselves, plan, take time, decide, vow, resolve to do. Because you love him, you find yourself, just following through with all the things you need to. You now have to sit down and now take it out. It now becomes principles for others. But love is powering. Are you getting what I'm saying? Love is just powering it seamlessly. Psalm 119, verse 97, another person, verse 113. Another person, verse 163, and verse 165. Just say the one you're reading and shout it out.
97.
Go ahead.
Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day.
So you spend time meditating, you spend time because you what?
Love.
Because you love. Next one.
113. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love.
So you love the law, that's why you are guarding your heart. That's why you are ensuring that your heart is free from all manner of impurities and so on and so forth. Next one.
163. I hate and abhor lying, but thy law do I love.
Next one. The next one. 165.
Great peace have they who love your law, and nothing can make them stumble.
Nothing can make them stumble. Because love is powering, the desire for God's word and so on and so forth. Love will also make you obey. I love the teaching of yesterday. Love will also make you obey. John 14:15. John 14:21. Same person reading 15, read 21. 22, 23 and 24. Another person 1 John 2:5. Another person 1 John 5:2 and 3. Let's just make it fast. All right, go ahead.
John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments.
Jesus explains that if you love me, you will do what? You just naturally what? Next one. 21.
Okay, 21. He who has my commandments and keep them, it is he who loves me.
So that's the gauge of a person who loves God. The person does what? Has the commandments and what? Not just has the commandments, he also what? He keeps them. So basic instructions 23 and 24.
Jesus answered and said to him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him.
Alright, 1 John 2:5, sorry. Next verse.
1 John 2:5. But if anyone obeys his word, love for God is truly made complete in them.
Alright.
This is how we know we are in him.
Next one, thank you. 1 John 5:2-3. 1 John 5:2-3.
1 John 5.
2-3.
1 John 5:2-3. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not broken.
So are you seeing that once you love, obedience follows, right? I'm speaking to those who had the issue I had plenty of things that we need to do. Plenty of things we want to enter into and so on and so forth. And I was wondering, how can I not just start now and then stop later? How can this problem of, are you getting what I'm saying, rising and falling and so on and so forth, come to an end? I'm telling you, others will be watching you, trying to, copy and paste what you are doing, you are not stressing yourself, you are just in love. Love is a power. Love shrinks time. You are not trying to pray. You just can't stop praying. You love him. We have all experienced it. We know what the carnal one does to you. Yes or no? Shrinks time. Shrinks time. Shrinks time, literally. Shrinks time. Shrinks time. That's how you know you love a person. Time flies. Yes or no? That's how you know you love a thing. Time what? Flies. So wow, time has gone. Time does not make sense when we're talking about love. It shrinks. No matter how much you love it, it shrinks. I remember extra cool. How 4 hours was never enough. It was 4 hours, right? 12:30 to 4:30. It was never enough. It just began and time is gone. Just because love was powering it. Once it comes to money, and you have to now pay for that conversation you are having, you now test the love, yes or no? You know whether or not this call is worth it. Wow, what are we talking about? But that time you can just be laughing. You are a serious person, yes, you are laughing over